on location with a good friend of mine. This is Dean Cleary.
Correct.
Dean's helped me film all over the world in all sorts of different locations. Now, Dean's got an interesting little camera here for us to talk about. This is the Canon XA10. Now, when I look at this, it's nice, it's small, it's not that high-end, but you know what? It's not all about the high-end cameras. Dean, tell me all about this little camera.
Well, it's basically a camera that I use as my second camera. It's actually got a very good quality picture. Most of the time I can run and gun, and I can take off the handle. It's got 3 screws that will unmount, so if I want to just be incognito and get into tight places, I can shoot with it. It's also got, putting the handle back on, it's got XLRs on the side. But most of the time what I'm doing is taking it out through the HDMI, and it's got a mini HDMI port out the side into the Ninja, and now into the Ninja 2. So I'm basically getting uncompressed video straight into the Ninja. It's a really great camera. It's not a cheap camera. It looks, maybe a prosumer camera, but it's about $2,000, and it's got some really nice quality images that come out of it, especially when you're going to the uncompressed out to the Ninja. It's just phenomenal.
Dean, I remember a time whenever you got a small camcorder that didn't cost thousands, they came with a tiny little 3.5mm mini jack, and it was horrible because I'd have 3.5mm mini jack to XLR. The jacks would always break, it would never hold up, and it was a real problem. Now I know this isn't particularly cheap, you said $2,000, but whatever the case, you got the full XLRs, and to me that was always a big thing that separated a lot of the cameras that were unusable and the ones that you could actually do something decent with. I mean, they'll watch pictures if they're not necessarily perfect, but they won't listen to awful audio. So how much of a deal is that to you?
That was a big deal. Most of the cameras, and like I said, it's my second camera, and I use it a lot for shooting screens, video screens at the LAFC meetings. I use this camera to shoot the screen, and before I always had my little Canon HF10, and it had the mini plug, and the sound wasn't that great, and this was really important that I could take the audio off the board directly in with XLR, so it was balanced, and it eliminated a lot of the buzz that I was getting. A lot clearer sound, and a big deal for me.
Excellent. Now let's talk about the AVCHD. Now I know you are going to a Ninja 2 here, as you said, so you've got the ProRes, which is fantastic, but what do you think of AVCHD as the internal codec?
My other camera, my Sony AX2000, shoots to AVCHD. I'm just really comfortable in it. I've used it for probably 3-4 years now. Most of the time I have had no problem. It's just the conversion to ProRes. I take them in and convert them to ProRes. It takes a little bit of time, which I don't have to do with the Ninja. It's great. It goes straight to ProRes, and I can convert it. I don't have to even convert it. I just bring it straight in, edit right off the drive.
So do you ever edit the AVCHD as AVCHD, or do you always convert to ProRes?
Always convert to ProRes.
You talk about this as being your second camera. Would it be all right as a first camera, do you think, or do you need to go further?
Most of the stuff that I do goes to the web, so it'd probably be a great first camera as well.
And what is your first camera? This is the Canon XA10, so what do you use as your main camera?
My first is a Sony HDR AX2000.
Another AVCHD camera?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people out there have this thing about AVCHD that it's not that good, don't touch it. What do you say to that?
It works fine. Most of the stuff I'm doing goes to the web, so it's great. And a lot of times I'm shooting 1920 by 1080. I could dumb it down. I've shot stuff, brought it into the ProRes and LT, and even put it out, and it looked great.
I like it. It looks great. I particularly like it because it's got the XLRs, it's got the uncompressed on the HDMI. Go to a Ninja, go to a Blackmagic recorder, go to an AJA recorder, whatever you want to use.
I think that the head on this tripod, which is the Manfrotto HD 501, is actually almost as big as the camera itself, but it's, I just put it on this tripod. It was easy and light to carry around.
Before we wrap up, anything that you really don't like about the camera?
The menu system, having it all on screen, it's a little fiddly. It's not as easy as it could be. The viewfinder's really kind of small and hard to see. And this probably is the brightest day. It's brighter than any place in Southern California in most cases. I really couldn't see what I was shooting off the screens. Probably need a couple hoods or something. So.
Okay, and I said that was the last question, but one more. What's your favorite thing about the camera?
Its price, and it was light.
Makes a lot of sense.
And picture quality is great on it.
Yeah, well, that's got to be the primary thing. All right, Dean, thank you. It's been great talking to you.